Hey, 44 all. For the longest time, I had a hard time trying to learn how to do 85 strongholds. 85 strongholds, the biggest stronghold you can hit. You kill the whole thing from start to finish. You get about 6.5 million points, which automatically gets you to tier 3. I'm going to do a little video on how I do 85s, and hopefully it will help some of the younger players who want to learn how to do 85s, who have some questions about, what pattern do you use to take minimal damage. Here's the fleet I use. I use a mix of 2 rhinos and 3 centurions. Now, you don't have to have rhinos with blades. You can use a rhino with D53Ds. That's just fine. You don't have to have blades. Now my centurions, all they have are the particle accelerator cannons. I do not have any ARBs on my centurions. Take up a lot of weight, and all I do are military strongholds, dubs, and mines with my centurions. So that's my I've got some refitting to do, but as of right now, that's my centurion build, and that is my rhino build that I'm currently using on these 85 strongholds. Okay, I'm going to launch this. I'll just go ahead and tell you this video is pretty long. I use almost every second I can on these to take the least amount of damage possible. Now I always go in from this direction. You've got 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 and 9. I go in about 1:30 or 2, and it'll make a little bit more sense here in just a second. I'm already done with the weekly, and I've got game sounds off, so you can hear me talk over the game sounds. Okay, zoom out here. First thing we're going to have to deal with are the fleets. That's the first, we don't want to deal with platforms and ships at the same time. So what I'm going to do is just turn my fleet around, and I'm going to kite. But I am going to separate out my rhinos from my centurions. I want my rhinos dealing with my ships, and I want centurions dealing with the platforms. So all I'm going to do is kite these things. Now that little bad boy right there, I'm going to take some damage from him, some ballistic damage, but can't hardly do it without taking some damage. When I stop firing, I stop moving. While I'm firing, I keep going. When my ships stop firing, I keep going a little bit here. Alright, now I'm going to come back to the middle, right up the middle. And the reason I do that is I want these ships that are making their way up to the top, I don't want them getting trapped right here because I pulled my fleet this direction. If I come back towards the center, back towards this torp tower, most of the time these 2 ships, or possibly 3 if this one comes forward, will come all the way out, and I can deal with them without trying to deal with platforms at the same time. You just gotta be patient, guys. You get 15 minutes to do an 85, to do one of these. Take the 15 minutes. You're not in a race. One of the biggest things that you can do to be successful at the 85s is do not activate turrets you do not have to activate. There's no sense in taking damage that you don't need to take. Alright, all the ships that are going to come out are, this little fella may creep up on me right here. If he does, we'll deal with him. But this is the first platform I deal with right here. Now you've got to avoid these torpedo towers. They will dish out a lot of damage. So we're going to give them a wide wide berth there. And once I get kind of lined up, if I could draw a line straight through here, because I'm going towards this corner. I'm just going to go straight towards this corner. That way I'm not going to activate that turret. I'm not going to activate these two Kodiaks. And if I stay behind this platform, I can kill this torpedo tower. Sometimes your retargeting works, sometimes it don't. Now I do drop down here and kill this tower. We're going to have to deal with this strike cruiser here. We'll turn around just a second. Stop one of our rhinos so we can do what we need to do here. Alright. Now what I'm going to do, when I get done with this platform, I'm going to circle back up here and hug this wall so I can kill that torpedo turret without it firing. But if I don't kill this platform, the whole time I'm inching up through here, he's going to be firing at me. Again, no sense in taking damage you don't need to take. Alright. Bring our ships to about this point right here. Now the first thing I'm going to have to deal with are these two Kodiaks. So I'm going to pull my rhinos out so they can deal with the ships. And what I'm going to try and do is stop them so I fire and they don't. Your range ring has to be about halfway into that ship. Of course my retargeting got that Kodiak. So I'm going to just inch everything up so I can continue there. I'll take out that turret, I'll take out that ship, and I'm going to take out that torp tower. Hopefully without anything firing at me. Help showed me this little trick. Thanks, Help. I'm immediately, as soon as I click, I'm pressing the down arrow to stop my fleet. Alright. Let's get them up here out of the way. What I'm trying not to do is activate that bad boy right there. Is that a cryo turret? I don't know what it is. All I know is that it hurts. And if I can avoid letting it hit my rhinos, I will. Alright, I'm going to just inch, see if I can snipe this guy. Alright. Get my rhinos out of the way. You can barely see the torpedo tower. I bring my Centurions right to that point. All three of them. Okay. And then I up arrow to select all of my ships, and I'm going to try and trigger these to fire on that turret. Got him. That's what I'm trying to do right there, is to take the least amount of damage from that turret as I can. And then I just go ahead and finish this guy off. Alright. And now that I've got these three platforms, that torpedo tower, and these couple of ships, I work in a clockwise rotation around the entire base. So I'm going to let everything stack back up, and I'm going to bring everything down to about this point right here. Now, there's nothing you can do to not. This guy's going to fire at you. This guy is going to fire at you, and most of these are going to. But this little fellow right here, this rocket turret, you can snipe him. You don't have to take damage from him. So when my Centurion range gets about halfway over this guy, I'm going to stop my fleet. And I'm going to see if I can snipe these two guys too with my my Centurions. Alright, we'll stop right here. Nothing's firing at me. I'm going to pull one of my rhinos over and stop him right there. Now hopefully my retargeting will carry over to this guy and I can kill him too. Yep, it worked. Okay. Now I'm going to stack everything back up. let's go to the next platform. I'm going to stop halfway right there. I don't want to activate that turret. There's nothing I can do about the other ones. Alright, now I've got these two ships to deal with next. But I'm going to let my rhinos do my ship work. Sometimes these guys will come out at you. It looks like this strike cruiser is going to. He's not going to either. So let's sneak up from behind on him and see if we can activate. Yep. You just want to snipe them if you can. Well, I'm going to get some damage from it. Went a little too far. Alright, my next thing I've got to avoid is the torpedo tower right here. Okay, so same thing as we did on the north side. We're just going to hug this wall right here and inch forward until our rhinos fire, and we will get rid of that tower without him firing. Now, here's another one of those cryo turrets, if that's even what they're called. I want my Centurions to deal with him. So I'm going to pull my rhinos out of the way. My Centurions up here, and I want them to fire at this turret. Hopefully I can get this done without even activating this guy. As soon as it fires, I stop. He's dead. He never even fired. Since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and kill these three guys without activating those Kodiaks. There. Done. Now we're going to continue on clockwise rotation around the base. And we got to inch around this platform to keep this guy from firing at us. Now I know that's fancy. Guys, if you don't have the Centurions, again, your fleet doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay, you're not going to kill this thing with a battle barge. But if you've got 5 rhinos with D53Ds on them, you can do this. If you follow this pattern, we're going to just inch around until our ships fire. That way we can kill him without him firing at us. We're going to treat this side the same way we did the other one. We're going to stop about halfway on this to keep that rocket turret from firing at us, and just come up here and finish him off. Yeah, and if you don't have the Centurion and you don't get that blue flame, yeah, it's going to take longer to kill the platforms, but you can still do it. We got another rocket turret right here. Stop. Keep him from firing. After we get these two finished off, I'm going to stack everything back up a little bit here. After we kill that one, we're going to do almost an S pattern through the center. Alright, we're going to let everything stack up, and how I'm going to do this, I'm going to come right through here. I'm just going to make a swoop on top of this platform, circle it, and come back under it. That's what I'm going to do. But I've got to stop at this turret. I've got to stop at this one. I don't want to activate them. Now we're going to stop halfway through this one. Because I can follow this pattern and I can do 50 million at one time without repairing. I repair overnight, come back the next day, and I do the weekly for the second time. Alright, I got ships to deal with, these 2 ships. So I'm going to pull my rhinos back up front a little bit more and see if I can snipe these 2 ships. Alright, I got this little dude right here, this one last turret, and we're done. Look, we took almost 13 minutes to do this, so take your time, okay? Take your time, don't activate turrets that you don't need to activate. Have a a pattern, a plan that you go into, and you'll learn how to do this. Guys, that's how I do 85s. And like I said, some of the older players may not, it's not going to help you guys, but some of the younger ones who are starting to get into 85s, hopefully this will help. And older players, you got a better way to do it, by all means leave a comment. I always want to learn. Alright guys, I appreciate your time.